some whole shit, I text that ass again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. You know what I mean? When I start streaming out that, yeah, niggas start talking that, stop it, knock it off, cuz.
Davis and Ryan Garcia are once again at the center of the boxing world, and this time, the stakes are higher than ever. These two stars already gave fans an unforgettable showdown in March 2023.
Ryan Garcia can't beat Tank Davis, and he knows that. He knows it. He knows that. He shared the ring with him. He knows that.
Their fight in Las Vegas didn't just live up to the hype, it smashed records, pulled in millions, and left fans talking. Now the talk of a rematch has fans even more excited, especially with talks about massive money, Saudi Arabia, and unfinished business. Their first fight was huge for a reason. It wasn't just two skilled fighters stepping into the ring, it was a clash of personalities and fan bases. Garcia came in hot, throwing punches early, trying to overwhelm Davis, but Davis, calm and patient, showed why he's known as Tank. A big knockdown in the second round put Davis ahead, and by the seventh round it was all over. A sneaky body shot sent Garcia to one knee and he couldn't beat the count. The fight was over, but the story was just beginning.
He wouldn't fight me because I'm moving up. I'm not doing 140. I'm going 147. I can't make fucking 140. I never even technically fought at 140. I fought every time at 143. My body can't literally go lower than 140.
That event was one of the biggest in boxing history, breaking records for ticket sales and making both fighters tens of millions of dollars. But for Garcia, the loss didn't sit right. He felt the weight cut and the rehydration clause were big factors in his defeat. He's been vocal about it ever since, claiming the fight wasn't on fair terms and pushing hard for a rematch. Recently, Garcia has turned up the heat. He showed up at Davis's latest fight wearing a shirt that said, "Rematch me."
Oh, Ryan? He's crazy. He's crazy. Talk about rematch. He said I was the best at 135 to 42. He said that. Say he won't fight me again. I'll kick his ass again.
That wasn't just a statement. It was a challenge. Davis noticed, of course, and he didn't stay quiet. Taking to social media, he made it clear that he's open to a rematch, but only if the price is right. Davis demanded $150 million to step back into the ring with Garcia. "Hopefully I'll fight Ryan again." He said, "If they are on some S, I'll tax that ass again. Tell them boys to give me $150 million, I'm coming. Tell them to send that bag and I'm coming."
If they not on some whole shit, I text that ass again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming.
The demand raised eyebrows. Some fans thought it was ridiculous. Others thought Davis was just being smart. After all, their first fight was a massive success, so why not ask for more? Either way, it got people talking. And then, out of nowhere, Saudi Arabia entered the picture. Turki Al Sheikh, a key figure in Saudi Arabia's entertainment scene, has reportedly agreed to meet Davis's demand. Arts for Al Sheikh is known for bringing big events to Saudi Arabia, and this rematch could be his next big move.
And then after what Ryan did in upsetting Devin, I don't even usually care to talk about numbers, but that's a fight that does over 2 million pay-per-view buys. That fight could be Mayweather De La Hoya territory now. Okay. So I think that fight might be the biggest fight in boxing now.
The idea of hosting the fight in Saudi Arabia is controversial. Critics argue that the country is using sports to distract from its human rights issues, while others point out that fighters only care about the huge paychecks Saudi events offer. But love it or hate it, the offer is there, and it's hard to imagine Davis and Garcia turning it down. A fight in Saudi Arabia would be a global event, drawing in fans and money from around the world. For Garcia, though, there's another challenge. His suspension after testing positive for a banned substance following his fight with Devin Haney. Garcia is currently sidelined.
Yeah, 140, I'll feel strong. I'll feel fast. 140, I'm coming for you. We're going to be cool, We're going to be cool. And it was a great fight. I hope to get a rematch one day. Obviously, I got to pile up some wins, and hopefully we'll meet down the line again.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis entered the fight on December.
The suspension lasts until April of this year, which means any fight would have to wait until after that. Despite this, Garcia hasn't stopped pushing for the rematch. He's keeping himself in the spotlight, making it clear that he wants another shot at Davis. But let's be real, this rematch isn't just about boxing skills, it's about pride and unfinished business. Garcia feels like he was robbed of a fair fight last time. Davis, on the other hand, sees it as another chance to prove he's the better fighter. The bad blood between them adds to the drama, and fans can't get enough of it.
Physically, I can't do anything. My mind, I can't. I told him, like, even in the back, I was like, dude, my legs feel weak. Everything feels weak.
Even after that,
because they didn't let me rehydrate the right way. So when I was there, I was like, damn, my legs are weak. I'm hitting, but I don't feel strong. It's my dude, I'm in for some shit right now. I was like...
The two fighters also bring very different styles to the ring, which makes their matchup so exciting. Davis is known for his patience and knockout power. He doesn't waste punches and knows how to finish a fight. Garcia, on the other hand, relies on his speed and flashy combinations. He's explosive and unpredictable, which makes him dangerous. When these styles collide, it's pure fireworks. But not everyone is convinced this rematch will live up to the hype. Critics argue that Garcia is too focused on excuses and not enough on improving.
I'm going to beat this guy, this guy, this guy. I'm going to get so big that Gervonta has to fight me. And we're going to do it on the right and fair terms. This is how fair I am. Although I'm going to be bigger than them, which I am, I'm going to be a fair, honest man in the new negotiations, and we're going to do it right, and I'm going to beat them, and then we're going to solidify that, and it's going to be all good.
Others think Davis's demand for $150 million is just a way to avoid the fight. Still, most fans agree that when these two step into the ring, magic happens. If the fight does happen, it will be one of the biggest events in boxing this year. Saudi Arabia's involvement would make it a global spectacle, and the money on the line would be insane. But more than that, it's about the story. Can Garcia redeem himself and prove he's better than the first fight showed? Or will Davis solidify his place as one of the top fighters of this generation?
Me and Tank was like 1 of 1. We had the 5th largest gate ever in history of boxing. That's not gonna be hard to top. I think the rematch for me and Tank would go crazy.
The rematch, if it happens, will answer those questions and more. But for now, fans are left to speculate. Will Davis stick to his $150 million demand? Will Garcia's suspension affect his performance? And how will Saudi Arabia's involvement shape the event? Whether you love them or hate them, these two fighters know how to draw a crowd and keep people talking. And this year, it looks like they'll do it all over again. But this year holds more than just that. We will actually be expecting to see if Tank lives up to his word about retirement. But as much as he seems serious about it, many don't believe that he actually means it. The recent voice in this has been Devin Haney.
What he does with his right hand and why that left hand is there through a left.
Reaction to Tank retiring.
He's retired?
That's what he said.
Nah, he's not retiring. I saw that big fights he made out there, and Tank knows that. I don't think he's gonna retire, with a lot of unfinished.
Devin Haney's disbelief in Gervonta Davis's retirement announcement is understandable, given the business and legacy implications for both fighters. While Davis claims he'll leave the sport at the end of 2025, Haney sees this as a ploy, possibly to draw attention or gain leverage in negotiations. For Haney, retirement talk at this stage seems absurd, especially when there are so many potential fights on the horizon that could solidify Davis's legacy and fatten his bank account. Haney's confidence that Davis won't retire stems from a hard truth in boxing. Money and unfinished rivalries have a way of keeping fighters in the game. Davis, at 30, remains one of the most bankable stars in the sport. And with marquee matchups like a rematch with Ryan Garcia or a super fight with Haney himself, walking away now seems premature. In 2016,
How you retiring? Are you losing the
trash? What changed? What made this shit trash? Garbage.
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Romano.
Gervonta, something should have happened at this time, because when I saw
critics of Davis argue that his career has often lacked consistency, and retiring without fully proving himself against the best of his era could tarnish his reputation. The upcoming bout between Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. is another part in this story. Roach, a solid but relatively unknown opponent, has led some fans to question Davis's choice of fights. While Davis's knockout power and star presence are undeniable, his critics believe he's been too selective with his opponents. A fight against Roach may add another win to Davis's record, but it does little to quash the criticism that he's avoided truly dangerous matchups, particularly in the lightweight division. Haney's frustration is evident. At 26, he's already proven himself as a two-weight world champion and wants his name in the same conversations as Davis, Shakur Stevenson, and other top-tier fighters of this generation.
That's why I don't want to box no more. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me, West, though. I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry. You know what I mean? Because I have 2 girls, 2 daughters. I'm wanting to be.
But Haney's own career hasn't been without controversy. His fight against Ryan Garcia, an event many believed would determine the new face of boxing, ended in chaos. Garcia missed weight, turning the fight into a non-fight into a bout, and despite Haney winning on paper, the fight was mired in controversy. When Garcia tested positive for banned substances, this no-contest ruling, combined with Garcia's suspension, has cast a shadow over Haney's recent achievements. Haney's legal action against Garcia only adds to the heat. It's not just about the result of their fight, it's about the principle. For Haney, Garcia's doping scandal is a stain on the sport, and he's determined to hold his opponent accountable.
Garcia's the first one.
Like 15? This ongoing feud has overshadowed his desire to move forward and secure the fights that will define his legacy, including a clash with Davis. The bitterness between Haney and Garcia could also make a potential Davis-Haney bout even spicier, as it would inevitably draw comparisons to their respective fights with Garcia. Meanwhile, Davis's retirement claim has led to speculation about his motives. Is it a way to keep fans talking? A strategy to negotiate bigger paydays for his final fights? Or does he genuinely plan to step away while he's still on top? Many in the boxing world are skeptical, believing that Davis thrives too much on the spotlight and the money to walk away anytime soon. Others, however, think there might be truth to his statement, especially if he feels he's accomplished enough, or if outside pressures such as legal troubles or personal issues play a role in his decision.
Early in the fight, talk to me. It's boxing. You can't swim without getting wet. You're going to get hit. I got hit. I felt like the times when...
Adding to the intrigue is the ongoing question of weight divisions. Davis has dominated at lightweight but has shown interest in fighting at 140 pounds, where Haney currently resides. A clash at junior welterweight would not only satisfy fans but also settle a lot of debates about who the better fighter is. For Haney, who's already moved up in weight, welcoming Davis to 140 would be the perfect way to showcase his skills against a smaller but more powerful opponent. The stakes couldn't be higher for both men. For Davis, fights against Haney, Stevenson, or even a rematch with Garcia could cement his legacy as one of the greats.
That video of you and Devin Haney sparring, people were going crazy over it. He was just a teen when that happened. How do you feel like his boxing skills have improved since?
I think he was best on his game when he was that age. I think he was like 17. I wasn't that much older than him. I think we probably like 3 years older, apart. But I feel as though he slowed down. All that partying and drinking and stuff slowed him down.
But without those fights, his career risks being viewed as unfulfilled potential, a collection of spectacular knockouts without the defining moments fans crave. Haney, on the other hand, is still building his legacy, but faces the risk of being overshadowed by fighters like Davis if he doesn't secure those big matchups soon. The rivalry between Davis and Haney isn't just about boxing. It's about two men with contrasting styles, personalities, and fan bases. Davis, with his brash confidence and knockout power, represents the flashier, more marketable side of the sport. Haney, on the other hand, is the technician, the thinker, often overlooked but always dangerous. Their fight, if it happens, wouldn't just be about belts or money. It would be about answering the question of who truly deserves to be called the best.
Shakur, he said a lot. Well, he don't fight nobody. We don't see him fight nobody. We ain't seen it. All these guys is in the Devin Haney sweepstakes. He's still in.
For doing so, they're warning to both fighters a more aggressive.
But time is running out, especially if Davis's retirement talk is genuine. Fans are clamoring for these fights now, and the boxing world knows how quickly opportunities can slip away. Injuries, upsets, and personal issues can derail even the most promising careers. If Davis and Haney don't meet in the ring soon, it could become one of boxing's greatest what-if scenarios, leaving fans to wonder what might have been. For now, the pressure is on. Davis must deliver against Roach and prove he's still at the top of his game. Haney needs to move past the controversies with Garcia and make a strong return to the ring.
3 people in the world that I think that could beat Tank. That would be Devin, that would be Shakur, and Tank Davis himself.
You got the last one right. That's the only person that can beat me. Gervonta Davis. That's the only person. Them niggas cannot touch me at all. They all been in the ring with me. They all been in the ring, and I cracked both of them.
And both fighters must navigate the politics and negotiations that so often delay or derail the biggest matchups in boxing. The heat surrounding Davis and Haney is exactly what keeps fans hooked. It's not just about the fights. It's about the personalities, the rivalries, and the storylines that make boxing more than a sport. Whether Davis retires or not, his impact on the sport is undeniable. But for fans, the hope is that he sticks around long enough to settle the score with Haney and give them the fights they've been waiting for.
No rematch necessary. Stop bringing that up. The second Ryan Garcia hit the Colin Kaepernick in the middle of the fight, all rematch clauses was put up. I don't want to hear nothing. Oh, well, there was a rehydration. Well, you can re-shut the fuck up.
However, even if he sticks around, we might still see Ryan Garcia rematching Haney first. The rivalry between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney has transcended the boxing ring, spilling over into social media, press conferences, and even doping controversies that have cast a long shadow over their careers. Nearly a year after their April 20th, 2024 bout at the Barclays Center, the bitterness between the two fighters has only deepened. Fans are split on whether a rematch is even feasible, given the ongoing war of words and the fallout from Garcia's doping scandal.
Does Ryan beat Devin, in your opinion, Canelo, if he's okay, like mentally?
If he's 100%, yes.
Devin Haney against Ryan Garcia. Ryan's gonna win, yeah? Knockout.
I hope so.
While the New York State Athletic Commission handed him a 1-year suspension, Garcia vehemently denies intentional wrongdoing. His claims of innocence, however, have done little to sway public opinion, especially with Devin Haney continuing to question his integrity. Haney's insistence that Garcia submit to random VADA testing has only added fuel to the fire, with some seeing it as a necessary step and others as a strategic jab to keep Garcia on the defensive.
With this time, what would you recommend he does?
And I think he should sign up for the 24/7 VADA program, show that he's a clean athlete, and then get back to boxing.
You'd have a rematch with Garcia next.
Of course. Well, not next, obviously, because I'm coming back in March.
The suspension has sidelined Garcia during a critical point in his career. His wrist injury, coupled with a lack of clarity about his next steps, has left fans questioning whether King Ryan can return to his former glory. Garcia's defiance in the face of the doping scandal, including his decision to sever ties with VADA, has only alienated him further from certain corners of the boxing world. His recent tirade against the organization, sparked by comments from David Benavidez about testing, shows just how deeply the issue has rattled him. Garcia's response to a fan calling him out for lacking moral authority, "F you, buddy, I will always claim my innocence," only underscores the combative, almost reckless approach he's taken in defending himself.
Everywhere online, they say that Garcia had to take advantage of Davis.
I would gladly beat his ass twice. You know, like I said, I could tell the truth twice. I beat him easy, and like I said, they could watch me every day. They could watch me train.
On the other side of the rivalry, Devin Haney has maintained a calculated stance, leveraging the scandal to bolster his own reputation as a clean, disciplined fighter. Haney's suggestion that Garcia enroll in VADA's 24/7 program might seem reasonable on the surface, but it's also a thinly veiled taunt, implying that Garcia's past transgressions make him untrustworthy. Haney's camp has been clear. No clean testing, no fight. This ultimatum, while logical, creates an additional hurdle for any potential rematch and casts doubt on Garcia's ability or willingness to meet those demands. Fans have grown weary of the back and forth, which has been relentless on social media. Both fighters use their platforms not just to attack each other, but to comment on everything from politics to the state of the sport. This constant noise has diluted the focus on their actual in-ring abilities, turning what should be a heated rivalry into a spectacle of petty insults and public grandstanding.
One of the fights that he definitely wants to see and his priority this year is obviously the rematch with Ryan Garcia. How does it feel for you to be able to hear that that's a priority for him?
I mean, it feels great because at the end of the day, that's a priority for me. There's a lot of unfinished business in that fight. So that's a fight that I think that has to happen sooner or later. And so
For many, the animosity feels less like genuine competition and more like two boxers fighting to stay relevant. Despite the bad blood, the demand for a rematch remains high. Their first fight, though overshadowed by controversy, was undeniably compelling. Garcia's knockdowns of Haney and his eventual majority decision win had fans talking, at least until the doping scandal broke. However, there's a growing sentiment that Garcia may never recover from this scandal, at least in the eyes of the boxing establishment. His refusal to take accountability, choosing instead to lash out at critics, VADA, and even fellow fighters, has has made him a polarizing figure.
Pussy, I'ma beat you. I'ma beat you. I'm reading everything. You saw. I already know you right now. Your dad can't talk for you. Your dad can't say in real life though. Everybody.
Some fans admire his tenacity and willingness to fight back against what he sees as an unjust system. Others see his behavior as evidence of immaturity and a lack of professionalism. Haney, by contrast, has positioned himself as the disciplined professional, using Garcia's missteps to highlight his own virtues. But even Haney isn't without his critics. Some accuse him of capitalizing on Garcia's downfall to deflect from his own controversies, such as the Ryan Garcia fight being declared a no contest, rather than a straightforward victory. Others believe Haney's focus on Garcia distracts him from pursuing more significant matchups that could further cement his legacy.
Dan Davis beginning to feel it now with that left hand. 15 seconds.
Me personally, I see no need for it. Ryan Garcia destroyed him, and that's the bottom line. So I think we have to make the best fights possible. And there's fighters here like Teofimo. There's fighters here.
The longer this feud drags on without a resolution, the more both fighters risk losing credibility. For Garcia, the immediate challenge is to prove that he's clean and ready to compete at the highest level. Enrolling in Veda's program, as Haney suggests, could be a first step toward rebuilding trust. But it's unclear if Garcia's pride will allow him to take it. For Haney, the challenge lies in balancing his focus on Garcia with his ambitions in a stacked junior welterweight division. He can't afford to let this rivalry define his career at the expense of other opportunities. If a rematch does happen, it will undoubtedly carry a level of intensity and scrutiny rarely seen in boxing. The stakes would be enormous, not just for the fighters, but for the sport as a whole.
NGQ, doing what I do. All white, looking nice. Okay, come through.
A clean, decisive victory for either man could settle the debate once and for all and restore some dignity to a rivalry that has often felt more like a soap opera than a showcase of elite boxing. But that's a big if. Garcia's suspension, injury, and combative attitude make his return to the ring uncertain. Haney's demands for clean testing and his own career ambitions could pull him in a different direction. And the fans, while eager for closure, may eventually lose interest if the drama continues to overshadow the action. Whether we see a fight between Ryan and Tank, or any of them against Devin, we can be sure that this year will be packed with action. But what do you want to see? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.